Good day, Sir Orly. Good day, classmate. We are Group 5, the last represent a case analysis. I am Nimpa Bello and I am with Celine Aguilos, Joven Ampong, Angelica Astorga, Lester Barshal, and Yvonne Vegador to present our case analysis. And this is our agenda in our case analysis presentation. We will start our presentation by identifying the case background of the weaknesses of blended learning. Then we will going to know the evaluation and identifying the problems toward the given problem. So let's now move on to the introduction. Miss Celine.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is the introduction to our case analysis. In the last 2 years, when COVID-19 happened in the Philippines, DepEd implemented blended learning, wherein teaching integrates technology and digital media with a traditional instructor-led activity. In other words, students might go to class in a traditional classroom and then they can also learn through online media. According to Koshimova Maktaramkon, the negative effect of blended learning for students are cognitive load, learning styles, and working condition. One misunderstanding teachers often make in the implementation of blended learning is that teachers pay much attention on the network platform and then design a lot of activity to allow students to learn more. But the result of doing so makes the students' cognitive load increase blended learning counterproductive. In addition, the different backgrounds of the students have their own learning styles. Some students are accustomed to reading a textbook. They like outlined and annotated in the textbook. If we give students a lot of learning context and ask them for additional learning, it will influence the learning effect. Once again, because the function of the network platform is not good because the negative effect of the navigation loss, not easy operation. Finally, in the process of blended learning implementation, because the high expenses increase the cost of getting resources, it will also affect students' learning effect. Well, in some cases, not all students are fast learners and have the capacity to study a lesson or even answer an activity without a discussion. In addition, blended learning is a part of an ongoing convergence of archetypal learning environments. However, the two methods have a different influence, they have a positive and negative effect, and combining them together will seem different for someone who came from a traditional method of teaching to blended learning. As we all know, most of the students here in the Philippines use the face-to-face method, so adjusting is more difficult for them. Therefore, many students are still adjusting and learning, including on how they will communicate through the use of social media and face-to-face interaction. The technological issues where most students complain on their internet connection, and also the COVID-19 that's still not safe to everyone when conducting a face-to-face classes.
Thank you, Miss Celine, and for the background, Mr. Barshal.
Background. In the middle of pandemic, the Department of Education provided a learning continuity plan, SAI 2020 to 2021, and one of its options is the blended learning. DepEd proposed to use online learning, modular approach, radio television methods, face-to-face, and para-teachers for blended learning. Blended learning is the combination of face-to-face or traditional method of learning, online or offline, and even modular. Based on Sami State University, blended learning requires the physical presence of both teachers and students with some elements of students' control over time, place, spot, or pace. According to survey of SWS on March 13, 61% of respondents said that blended learning is much more difficult compared to face-to-face, while 28% said that somewhat more difficult, giving a total of 89%. Meanwhile, the 6% of families said that blended learning is more easier than face-to-face. The survey also noted that 92% of those surveyed in the Visayas region, 90% in Metro Manila, 88% in Mindanao, and 87% in Luzon said that the current blending learning system is more difficult compared to face-to-face. Mga challenges ng weakness of blended learning. Ang unang challenge ay ang time management. Time management and being mentally unstable are two of the reasons we see that students become weaknesses and using blended learning to study. Because they are only at home, they can do procrastination every time. Usually, they prioritize things that are not needed rather than doing the activities they need to do at school. Marami ng mga estudyante ang nahihirapan sa pag-manage ng kanilang oras, lalo na ngayong blended learning. Sa kadahilan ng ang ibang estudyante ay meron ding responsibilidad sa kanilang tahanan. Even na meron din silang responsibilidad sa paaralan. Kaya natatambakan sila ng mga activity dahil hindi nila alam kung ano ang uunahin nilang gawin, kung mag-activity ba sila o tutulong sa kanila, kung tutulong sila sa kanilang pamilya. At meron ding mga estudyante ang inuuna ang paglalaro bago mag-activity. Next one is mental unstable. This is where the overthinking of students comes, and they are the ones who are too shocked or adjusted to keep up with online learning. Sometimes it's because they are looking for the traditional method of learning. Ito yung mga estudyante na nag-iisip ng mga negatibong bagay dahil sila ay nabigla sa adjustment ng kanilang pasok. Dati ay nasanay na tayo sa pagpasok ng face-to-face class. Pero ngayon ay iba na dahil sa pandemya ay napilitan tayong pumasok ng online class hanggang sa mapunta ito sa blended learning. Kaya sobrang laking pagbabago nito para sa aming mga estudyante.
Okay, sir. I am Ampong Jobin Markdi and gusto ko lamang dagdagan yung sa paunang sinabi ni Lester na kung saan ay diniscuss niya yung una naming problema, which is the time management. Ngayon naman sabihin ko kung ano nga ba yung epekto ng poor time management. Unang-una ay ang low quality of work. No, nagiging, dyan na papasok yung bara-bara na lang, yung, ay, yaka mo na yan, may mapasa na lang, no? Dyan na papasok yon. Kasi nga, poor yung time management mo. And pangalawa, yung missed deadlines. Yan, dyan na papasok yung namimiss mo na yung mga deadlines kasi nga, may inuna ka mga bagay na hindi naman mas importante rather than doon sa mga need mong i-comply. No? Procrastination, ayan. At pangapat, yung lack of sleep. Sa lack of sleep, dyan papasok yung nagka-cramming ka no? Nakukulangan ka na ng tulog kasi nga, ginagawa mo siya ng bago na magpasahan, ilang oras or kinabukasan na lamang, ay pasahan na kasi nga, wala kang time management. Wala kang maayos na time management kung kailan mo ba siya gagawin. Una ay in-address yung unang problema which is the time management at sinabi ko kung ano nga ba yung mga nagiging epekto ng poor time management. Ngayon naman, kung may problema, dumako naman tayo sa solusyon. Unang-unang solusyon dyan is you have to start planning your day, no? Kapag may maayos kang pagpaplano ng oras mo, nagiging mas convenient at nagiging mas meron kang maayos no na scheduling. Halimbawa, bukas na siya need ipasa, tapos ngayon siya binigay, gawin mo na siya maaring sa gantong oras, mamayang umaga, or tanghali, or if mas bet mo or mas gumagana yung utak mo sa gabi is, pwede siya. No? Pangalawa is, second in your list is you should be prioritizing. No? If you're prioritize important things rather than sa mga hindi naman kailangan, is makakapagpasa ka ng mga need or important things sa tamang oras or on time mo siyang maipapasa. Hindi ba? At pangatlo is to make sure to establish your boundaries, no? Make sure to aware yung mga kaibigan mo na dito kang tatanggi ka na, ay, hindi pala ako pwede sa ganyang oras, hindi pala ako pwede sa gantong araw, kasi nga, may proper scheduling ka na at may proper time management ka na ginawa mo.
Thank you, Ampong. So let's now move on for the recommendations. Miss Yvonne.
Here are some of our recommendations for your time management. Number 1, plan each day. Don't make excuses. You can also use some management tools. Number 1, having a plan about how your day would go. You can also use some free applications like Notion, School Planner, and your calendar in order to organize your schedule, your task, or your priorities. Number 2, prioritize your daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. By prioritizing your daily, weekly, and monthly tasks, we will be able to do much more activities and focus on other things that also needed to be done. Number three, don't multitask or avoid multitasking. Multitasking can cause a lot of confusion for those who don't know how to multitask properly. Handling different things at the same time can be hard for the students who has poor attention span. Learn how to do things little by little. Number four, avoiding distractions or try to remove them. Avoiding distractions is important whenever we study or doing our task because it can slow us down from finishing every task that we could finish within the short period of time. Setting timers and lessen the usage of social media while doing our tasks can be a big help since social media can also be a form of distraction to every student.
Thank you, Miss Yvonne. So let's now talk about further solutions in our second problem, which is mentally unstable. Number one, allow yourself to cry. Always remember that it's okay to express your feelings out. It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for others' help when you are confused about what's happening to yourself. And for the second one, invest in therapy. When anxiety or mental illness experience is too severe, it is better to consult a psychiatrist to monitor the experience of this thing. So let's now move on for the recommendations. Miss Angge.
Thank you, Nimpa Bello. Good afternoon, everyone. Here's our recommendation for mental unstable. The first recommendation is communicating with the professors. Being able to talk to your professors regarding on your personal worries and problems will help to lessen the weight the students carry every day. The professors will be one of the people who can help and give you some advices. It can also give or help to create a bond between the professors and the student. The second recommendation is try to do outdoor activities. Doing outdoor activities or playing sports will help us to divert our attention and focus on the things what we are currently doing. Finding things that can help us release the tension or stress is a big help to lessen the thoughts that is going through our head.
Thank you, Miss Angge. So let's now move on for our additional discussion that will be discussed by Jovin Ampong.
Sir, umisip kami kung saan namin siya pwedeng i-connect dun sa topic natin, which is the contemporary world, o dun sa asignatura natin na contemporary world. At unang pumasok nga sa akin ay yung global media culture. Yung isa nating topic na or mapag-aaralan pa lamang ng global media culture. Okay, this concept kasi of media culture it's in fact on society's information consumption. No, pwede rin siya sa intellectual guidance. And this media culture tend to be major in the information mainstream sa information. Okay? Since it's affect information availability, maaari din siya or kadikit din nun na pwede namin siya i-connect sa isa nating topic, which is yung globalization and media. And we think of ano nga ba yung mga impluensya ng media when it comes sa aming pag-aaral? Or pwede namin siyang mai-relate sa globalization. Gaya ng na pag-aralan natin sa globalization. We mentioned na about the globalization is more on about interconnectiveness, and usually yung mga definitions ng globalization ay nagpo-focus specifically doon sa economic side and political integration, pwede rin sa market integration. And hindi po ba? Ngunit, if we're looking for its role, kung ano nga ba yung parte niya, ay di hamak na may dimension o bahagi ng kultura na kung saan ang media ay may mahalagang parte. No? Di ba nga sa media, kinapapalooban siya ng tinatawag na digital media. At dyan napapasok, o dyan na namin i-connect yung isa sa weaknesses ng blended learning sa side ng digital media. Sa paggamit namin ng mga computers, gadgets, cellphones, ganyan, nagkakaroon pala or dito may problema pala in this case, meron palang problema na we need to identify at need na maayos at need na maresolbahan.
And that's all for our case analysis presentation.